the Medical Marijuana Bootcamp. I'm Tang.
I'm Chubbs.
And today we're talking about Amsterdam.
Yeah, a little bit about Amsterdam. He just got back. I'm just in the process of planning my third trip coming up for the Cup this year. And I'm just curious to see what you thought, having just gotten back and it being your first time.
Yeah. So, well, it was my first time, and, I wasn't really sure what to expect because I've been to dispensaries. I've bought weed all the time.
Right.
All the time I'm buying weed. So, I didn't really think it was going to be a big deal.
Being in Southern California, you're already in weed heaven.
Yeah.
So a lot of people that go to Amsterdam go to weed heaven because they're not coming from weed heaven.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Exactly. So yeah, I went over there, and my first shop was the gray area. It's really small, and you just roll up just like a dispensary, but there's no ID, there's no medical marijuana recommendation. You're just like, boom, let me see that.
You notice there's a little different vibe though.
Yeah.
I mean, with the music,
Yeah.
the door open.
Yeah.
It's
the pictures of Willie Nelson on the wall.
Right. It's dispensary-esque, but it's just right when you walk up, it's like, God, this is just a little bit better.
That's the thing that I really found about it. There's something about the freedom of being able to buy it without, because even at a dispensary, kind of like,
we've been doing it as long as we've been doing it.
Yeah, exactly. We started before it was the whole medical thing,
right?
And so we have a very healthy fear of authority, but over there it's so much nicer, more relaxed. And now my favorite spot out of all the places.
Well, where'd you go after you went to Gray Area? Because I know if Gray Area was your first spot, you walk into Gray Area. That's kind of a cool spot to start. Not the best, not the worst. But from there, you can go either way. You can walk into a second shop and be like, "Holy shit!" You can walk in and be like, "Oh, this ain't nothing compared to Gray Area."
Yeah.
Do you remember where you went after that?
I did. I went to Greenhouse. And so I went to the Gray Area is probably the least nicest. One of the least nicest.
No, not the smallest.
Smallest.
Yeah.
And the Greenhouse, one of the most expensive, one of the biggest, 2 stories. And fish. You walk in and you're walking on the fish, and there's a fish glass.
It's a acrylic floor.
Yeah. And I mean it's absolutely beautiful. There's always like 70s rock and roll music playing.
Is there a little Middle Eastern guy working the door? Was he there? A little round head?
No, I didn't see him there. But there's volcanoes.
What'd you get at Gray Area before you went to Greenhouse?
I got some cheese.
Oh, nice. And isn't it incredible just walking up and, like you said, the freedom, and it's just...
There's something about freedom.
Well, then there are Americans that are at Gray Area, too, so that's a little weird.
I mean, yeah, there's Americans working. The 2 Americans, went out there in, 96. They were selling weed, and they had enough to get a license out there and have been operating in the Gray Area ever since, which is why it's known as kind of like the American place, because they speak English really well. But anyway.
Then you end up at Greenhouse.
Greenhouse, which was tight, whatever.
What'd you get?
I got some chocolate.
Gotcha. At
the Greenhouse. And I mean, I had to, right? And it smelled so good, Chubbs. They really, really got the smell down. It was sweet, light, everything you want a sativa to be.
Right.
And it tasted really good. High? I mean, I didn't really get high off it. but I mean, I smoked enough of it.
Right. There's a place called Green Place, not Greenhouse.
I went to the Green Place on your recommendation.
Right. Did you get their chocolate?
I got their chocolate.
Was it at least better than Greenhouse's?
Definitely.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's one of the best strains. Not the best weed I've ever had. One of the best weeds in Amsterdam that I had.
Really nice. My favorite place, hands down, favorite place, Barney's Uptown. Have you been there, Chubbs?
Of course.
Okay, so
of course. I'm sure someone's seen my videos or the picture that I have with all the cake and me just sitting there all chocolate hypnotized. Yeah.
First of all, it's an amazing restaurant. Very good food. They bottle their own wine from their own vineyard in Italy.
I didn't
know
called
Trebbiano.
I went there 20 times while I was there, and
they have one called Trebbiano. It's a light white wine, and it goes great with a nice sativa. But being able to roll, it's like you walk to the bar, and they have big joint papers. You just grab.
But you can't buy weed at Barney's Uptown.
Right, but you can go across the street and buy at Barney's Farms.
Right.
Or
because the reason is because they serve beer at Barney's Uptown. And there's supposed to be there is a law in Amsterdam.
There's a separation of markets.
Either or.
Yeah.
You can serve weed or you can sell beer. But you can't combine the two. You're not supposed to combine the two.
But you just walk across the street and buy the weed, so it's not literally.
Because they have Barney's, I forget the name of the other shop, right across the street.
Barney's Coffee Shop.
Yeah, there's another Barney's.
Barney's Farms right next door.
Yeah, so within a 3-minute, not even that, 2-minute walk, you have those 3 shops right there.
It's incredible.
Incredible.
So in short, the they don't even have legalized weed. They just have coffee shop system there because it's still illegal to like grow a lot of weed and distribute and all that stuff. But even still,
500 grams per per coffee shop is what they're supposed to have on hand.
But even still, the freedom, the feeling of freedom that you get when you're in Amsterdam is different than a dispensary, and frankly, it's a lot better. So I'm really hoping in November this initiative passes so we can have a Barney's Uptown in LA and Orange County.
Yeah, Bootcamp. I'm Chubbs.
I'm Tang. Peace.